Do you think you're doing well with money? Maybe, but compared to what? In 2026, a lot of people who look financially stable are actually under pressure, overloaded with payments, and one emergency away from panic. That's why the real numbers matter. Because when you look at how people actually earn, spend, save, invest, and borrow, normal starts to look dangerous. And if you understand where most people go wrong, you can build a life that looks very different. One of the most misleading money ideas is the word average. In the US, the average household income sounds impressive on paper, often sitting in the low six figures. But that number is distorted by top earners. The more useful figure is the median, the household right in the middle. And that number is far lower. The same issue exists in the UK. National income stats may sound solid, but they hide huge differences in age, region, rent, and cost of living. So the real question is not, am I earning enough compared to everyone else? It's, how much of my income do I actually keep? A person earning less with low expenses and a clear system can feel safer than someone earning far more but spending everything. Income matters, margin matters more. This is where people sabotage themselves trying to be clever. Everyone loves the idea of timing the market. Buy low, sell high, get out before the crash, jump back in before the rebound. Sounds perfect. Almost nobody does it well. In fact, missing just a handful of the market's best days over the years can destroy a huge part of your returns. Why? Because the strongest market days often happen right after the worst ones. So when fear pushes people out, recovery often begins without them. That's why the boring strategy still wins in 2026. Stay invested, invest consistently, use broad low-cost funds. Let time do what emotion never can. The biggest investing mistake is not picking the wrong stock. It's leaving the market at the wrong moment. Not understanding money is expensive. It shows up in credit card interest, bad loans, missed investing years, poor savings choices, and constant financial stress. And the frustrating part is most people were never taught this properly. They learned formulas in school, but not how debt compounds, how pensions work, or how to build an emergency fund. The good news is you do not need to become a finance expert. Learn the basics, and you already move ahead of a huge number of people. Understand interest, understand budgeting, understand investing, understand how to avoid expensive mistakes. One useful money lesson applied consistently can save you far more than people realize. This is where financial stability becomes real, because it's easy to feel fine until life happens. The car breaks down, the boiler fails, the pet gets sick, the phone dies, the surprise bill arrives, and suddenly the question is simple. Do you have cash or do you have debt? Even in 2026, millions of adults still cannot handle a modest emergency without borrowing. That's the trap. The problem is not just the original bill, it's the chain reaction. One unexpected cost becomes a credit card balance. The balance turns into interest. The interest destroys next month's flexibility. That is how people stay stuck. Emergency savings break that cycle, not because they make you rich, but because they make you resilient. Even a small buffer changes the game. It turns chaos into inconvenience. The emotional impact of savings is huge. Research continues to show that even a modest emergency fund can significantly improve financial well-being. Why? Because money is not just math. It's stress, it's sleep, it's focus, it's mental energy. When you have no buffer, every problem feels bigger, every bill feels threatening. But when you've got cash set aside, even if it's not a fortune, your whole relationship with uncertainty changes. You stop feeling fragile. That matters more than most people think. Okay, we're at the halfway mark. And if you're still watching, that tells me you're genuinely serious about getting smarter with your money. So I need to ask you a quick favor. Hit the subscribe button right now. I put out videos like this every single week, and subscribing is literally the best way to make sure you never miss one. It takes 1 second, costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps this channel grow so I can keep making this content for you. Seriously, just tap the button. I'll wait. Done? Amazing. Let's keep going. Paycheck-to-paycheck living is not just a low-income issue. In 2026, a huge number of people still say they're living paycheck to paycheck, including many on six-figure salaries. Why? Because higher income often gets swallowed by higher spending. Bigger home, better car, more subscriptions, more convenience, more lifestyle. This is the trap of lifestyle inflation. You earn more, but instead of creating freedom, you create new obligations, And suddenly you need the bigger paycheck just to maintain the upgraded life. That's why some high earners still feel broke. More income only helps if some of it stays yours. Wealth is not built by earning more and spending more. It's built by increasing the gap between the two. In 2000, huge monthly car payments still shockingly pass as normal. Buyers are signing up for long loan terms, high interest rates, and monthly payments that quietly steal from future wealth. The problem is people buy the monthly number, not the total cost. They ask, "Can I fit this into my month?" Instead of, "What is this really costing me?" That mindset is expensive. A large car payment doesn't just buy transport. It delays savings. It crowds out investing. It adds pressure to your income. And all for something that loses value over time. Cars are one of the easiest ways to look successful, while becoming less financially flexible. The smartest car is often not the one that impresses people. It's the one that leaves room in your life. For many people, it was supposed to be temporary. Study, graduate, get a job, pay it off. But in reality, student debt often follows people for decades. In the US, balances remain heavy, especially for graduates with advanced degrees. In England, the structure is different, with income-based repayment and eventual write-off on many plans, but the effect is still real. Student debt shapes adult life. It influences where people live, what jobs they take, whether they invest, whether they feel free to take risks. It's a reminder that education can be valuable, but price matters. A good degree at the wrong cost can become a burden for years. Many people still do not have enough retirement savings building automatically in the background, and that is dangerous because retirement is easy to postpone. There is always something more urgent: rent, food, family, repairs, travel, life. That's why automatic saving matters so much. If your retirement plan depends only on motivation, it's vulnerable. If it happens automatically, it becomes part of your system. And systems beat motivation every time. If your employer offers a match and you're not getting the full amount, you may be walking away from free money. If you don't have access to a workplace plan, then build your own version. Automate the transfer, make it non-negotiable. Your future self will depend on what you build now. There are more millionaires than ever, especially in the US, but that number doesn't mean what it used to. In 2026, being a millionaire is still a major milestone, but it doesn't automatically mean luxury. A lot of that wealth may be tied up in homes, pensions, and investments. On paper, someone may be worth $1 million. In practice, they may still feel cautious, especially in high-cost cities. That's why net worth and lifestyle are not the same thing. Someone can look rich and have very little. Someone else can look ordinary and quietly build real wealth. Real wealth is not about flashing success. It's about control. It's about owning assets, keeping margin, reducing fragility, and building a system that supports you even when life goes wrong. They show that the average person is more financially exposed than they appear. They show that income alone is not enough. They show that bad habits, weak systems, and expensive decisions can trap people for years. But they also show something encouraging. You do not need to be extraordinary to get ahead. You just need to avoid the traps that keep average people stuck. Spend below your means, build emergency savings, invest consistently, learn the basics, automate progress, keep your lifestyle from eating your future. That's it. That's the advantage. In a world where so many people are reacting, overspending, and hoping things somehow work out, being intentional already puts you ahead. If you want more clear, practical content on money and building wealth, subscribe to the channel. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe, and let's build smarter together.